I welcome you all to this wonderful learning experience. तो आज हम सीखेंगे कि स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज में और मीडियम स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज में और बिजनेसेस में प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है। आप लोगों से मैं जानना चाहता हूं, आपको सबसे बड़ी जो प्रॉब्लम है, द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम यू आर फेसिंग इन योर बिजनेस, प्लीज राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स। प्लीज राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स। What is the biggest problem? Funding, fund flow. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Funding is the biggest problem. So if funding is the biggest problem, what are the ways, what are the means available for us for funding? There is one common well-known system of funding. People go for bank loans, bank funding. Lack of funds is the biggest problem. As you all have mentioned, lack of funds or shortage of funds is the biggest problem. Okay. Now, if funds are the problem, we have to find a solution, right? So let me tell you something about this webinar. This program is going to be for 60 to 90 minutes duration. Mostly it will be in English and a little bit of Hindi. And I'll tell you who is this for. And in this particular program, there is no gyan, no fluff, only real actionable stuff, which will be helpful to you in raising funds. Okay. If you have got any questions, please keep them noted down. And at the end of this session, we'll have a time period slot for question answers. Okay. So please don't ask any questions in between. That will disturb the flow. Now, I request you not to spam. I expect your focus. And I want all of you to take lots of notes so that it will be useful for you for your reference. And you don't have to remember each and everything. Once you have the notes, that is always useful. Okay. Now, what is there in this program for you? We'll be discussing what are the eligibility norms for SME IPOs, what all is needed. Okay. What are the steps involved? How you have to go for that? What are the various strategies whereby you can become a listed company and you can raise funds? What all preparations are needed for that? Okay. Then key benefits of going for an IPO and what are the best practices, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So all these things are going to be discussed. Now, this program is for growth-minded SME business owners, startup founders, family businesses, aspiring entrepreneurs, chartered accountants, professionals who are aspiring for businesses, and finance professionals. Okay. Now tell me, from where are you logged in, and what is the nature of your business? Please tell me from where are you logged in and what is the nature of your business? Goa, Varanasi, pharmaceutical, machine manufacture from Barodara, Mysore, Mumbai, Pune, Visakhapatnam, Bharuch, Indore, recycling, green energy, biomass, biodiesel. Wonderful. We have got a good mix of various industries and people from various parts of the country. Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Bihar, export, ready mix, food industry, manufacturer, all kinds of solar and LED lights, Noida, Chennai. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you everyone. So let's proceed further without wasting further time in introduction part. So this is going to be useful for all these kinds of people. If we look at the SME sector, there are around 6.5 crore MSMEs, out of which 4 crores are SMEs, small and medium enterprises in the country. which contribute approximately 31% of the GDP of the country and supports approximately 12 crore families. These are the figures which has been taken from the government data. These are not my figures. These figures are from the government source. Okay? But if we look at the listed small and medium enterprises on SME exchanges, because both BSE and NSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange as well as National Stock Exchange, they have facility for listing of small companies and medium-sized companies. Okay. In the particular segment, companies with a paid-up capital of up to 25 crores can be listed. That is the restriction. Okay. Now, listed SMEs, if we look at, there are more than 700 SMEs listed on both these exchanges, BSE as well as NSE, in these small sectors, SME sector. Okay. And the total market cap of all these companies combined is a staggering 1.5 lakhs crores. Is that wonderful? 1,50,000 crores is the market capitalization. That means the value of all the shares of these 700 plus companies in the market is 1,50,000 crores. And you'll be surprised to know that all these 700 plus companies, they raised just 10,000 crores from the market. And the market valuation as on date is more than 1,50,000 crores. Isn't that wonderful? What do you feel about this? What do you feel about this? This is good or what? They raised 700 companies raised approximately 10,000 crores, and the market value of the shares of these companies is 1,50,000 crores as on date. So you can see what kind of value creation is there. If you go for SME IPO, you can create lots of value for yourself, for your company, and for your stakeholders, that is your shareholders, your suppliers, your buyers, your family members, whosoever is putting money or whosoever is connected with the company will be benefited. Okay. So that's good. Thank you for your response. Now, if we look further, the main problems which are being faced by the SME sector are limited finance. And when there is a limited finance, there is a limited growth. When there is a limitation of finance, finance is not easily available to SME companies, and that results in limited growth. Do you agree with me or not? If you agree, say yes. How many of you feel finance crunch? Very good, very good. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now I would like to know how many of you is using bank funding for your companies? Whether it's a company, whether it's a partnership firm or sole proprietorship firm or LLP, whatever it is. If you are using bank funding for your business, say me. Good. Unsecured loan. Bank funding. I'm using bank funding. BR. Yes, yes, yes. So almost every business, small, medium, large are definitely using, but even small and medium companies, medium-sized businesses are also using bank finance. And we'll be discussing what are the problems associated with finance also. Okay. If we look at it, the second problem faced by this SME sector is that your company doesn't have a valuation. Whatever is the value shown in your books of account, that is the value of your company. Net worth, your net worth is your company's valuation. Suppose you have got assets worth 5 crores. So your company's net worth is 5 crores. minus all the loans which you have taken. Okay. Suppose you have got loan of 2 crores. So your net worth is going to be somewhere around 3 crores. But if you are a listed company, this can be 30 crores, this can be 50 crores, this can be even 100 crores. There is no limitation for that, no restriction on that. And if we try to understand, there is a wide gap between the net worth of companies and valuations of companies. Okay. Then if you are an unlisted company, you don't have any recognition. You might have seen people try approaching the banks and all that for funding, and most of the cases they are rejected by the bankers. You are not eligible for the loan. The amount you are asking is much more. And whenever you go for a loan, they never give you the desired amount of debt which you require for your business. Earlier, I was doing bank funding for my clients. So what was the normal practice? Suppose one client needs 1 crore rupees, the bank will say you take 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs, 75 lakhs. What he'll do with that? Suppose you are hungry and you normally eat 4 chapatis, and if the person who is offering you food says, I'll give you only 2 or 3 chapatis, will that be of any use? It will not quench your hunger. You will still be hungry even after eating those 2 or 3 chapatis. Similarly, if your bank is not giving you proper funding, that is going to impact your business. It's not going to impact the bank immediately. It may impact the banker in a long term, but immediately the impact is going to be on you. You will not be able to implement whatever plans you have for your business. You have got expansion plans, you want to grow your business, but with the lack of funding, it's always difficult. Now, after that, there is no wealth creation. Suppose you are making a profit of 1 crore or 2 crore rupees a year. Out of that, you withdraw some money for your personal use, your household use, say 25% to 20%. So the value creation or wealth creation is just the remaining 60, 70 lakhs, whatever is remaining in the business. But when you go for listing, you create wealth. How? As I told you earlier, these 700 companies, they raised 10,000 crores only. But the market value of the total shares of these companies is 1,50,000 crores. So that is how the value is created. Do you understand this? If you understand, say yes. If you understand how this happens, say yes. Good, good, good. Mr. Naved Iqbal, what is your business? What is your business? Recycling. How much turnover you are doing? Suppose you are making 1 crore rupees, okay, net profit in a year. Out of that, you withdraw 25 lakhs for your personal use and for household use. So 75 lakhs remains in the business, and that is the value created during that 1 year. Okay. But if it is a listed company, the value creation is in terms of the market value of your company's shares. Suppose your company's shares are having a face value of 10 crores, but it is being traded at 50 rupees. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means that your 10 crore capital, which is 1 crore equity shares, if there is a 10 rupees equity share. So 1 crore equity shares, if traded at 50 rupees, so your company's valuation is 50 crores. Your company's valuation is 50 crores. That is how value is created. Now you understand it. It's clear now. It's clear now. Please tell me if it's clear now. Should we move forward? Okay, okay, thank you. Now, there is a heavy debt burden. In most of the cases in SME sector, there is a heavy debt burden and there are so many after effects or side effects of a loan. First of all, getting a loan approved is very difficult. Then you are answerable to the bank, how you are going to use it, how you are using it. They will inspect, they will ask you lots of questions. And if you make any mistake, then you are punished with penal interest and all that, because you have to repay the loan at the desired time or the fixed time. Okay. Then if your company is not listed, there are hardly any systems and controls, because once you are listed, you have to have so many proper systems and controls in your company so that you are a compliant company. You comply with all the company law norms, all the company law rules, stock exchange rules, everything. So you become a company which has got proper systems and controls. So these are the pain points. After this, let's see. Let me tell you something about me. It won't take much time. It will take a minute or two. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I'm in my profession since 1978. I have been doing bank loans and project consultancy initially. After that, I published a newspaper that was a financial weekly and focusing on the stock market and particularly on the primary stock market, that is IPOs and all that. Okay. And during that time, I started my advisory to various companies in their IPOs. You all must be knowing Canterville Retail India Limited. Canterville is a listed company on the main board. They came out in 2010 with an IPO of 105 crores. And I was the sole advisor to Canterville in that IPO. Okay. Apart from that, I have been advisor for dozens of companies in their IPOs. Okay. Now I'm on a mission to help at least 10,000 small and medium-sized companies to grow their businesses through SME IPOs and various other means and ways of funding which are available to companies if they intend to go for IPO, like private equity, venture capital funding. All these funds are available only if you intend to go for an IPO at some time in the future. Otherwise, venture capital and angel investors, they won't put money in your company. Okay. So I got this mission and I want to complete this mission with the help of people like you, small businesses. Now, if we look at the purpose of SME IPO, there are two purposes, either of them. Either you can go for a listing wherein you have got your own funds. You say that I got sufficient funds, I don't want more funds, and I want my company to be a listed company. That is possible without raising any funds from the public or from any outsider. Okay. In that case, you have to, or your friends and family members, or your suppliers, or your dealers, your private network will be putting money in your company's share capital, because there has to be a minimum of 50 share applications in case of SME IPO. 50 applications minimum. Okay. And getting 50 applications within your own circle of family, friends, suppliers, dealers, and all that is very easy if all of you are having funds. Okay. The second option can be you want your company to be listed, as well as you want to raise funds from the public. Okay. So let me explain you in a bit detail what these two types are. If we talk about your own funds, that means you have got enough funds which is required for your business, for your company. You don't need public funding. But since you have to have at least 50 applications in your IPO, so you can ask your family friend, family members, dealers, suppliers, all other people known to you to put applications in your IPO. Okay. And then you make your company listed. For that, you don't have to be a company with a very great track record. It can be a okay company, and you can go for that. Okay. Now, if you want public funding, there's a big question. Why the outsider people, why the shareholders from the public invest their money in your company? Tell me. Why should a common investor, not known to you, should put their money in your company's IPO? Any answers? It's tough for growth and investment. Yes, no doubt they invest their money for growth. But you have to be very credible company with a solid track record, your promoter's background, your company's background, your profitability, your business, nature of business, the future of the business in which you are, or if all these things are good, people will be gladly willing to put their money in your company's IPO. As simple as that. Because everybody wants value creation, value appreciation. So they want their money to grow. And if they find that, okay, this is a good company and this will give us profits, so definitely they'll invest in your company. They can put their money in your company depending on your credibility and your track record. That is of the company as well of the promoters, right? Now, there has to be a strong corporate governance. That means you should be a company which is compliant of all the government requirements, rules and regulations. You have got strong fundamentals. Your prospects in the future, your company's business has got better prospects for the future. People will gladly put their money. As simple as that. Now let's take one example. Suppose you are driving a car and somewhere on the highway, you look at the fuel meter and it's showing empty. What will happen? What will happen? You have to push your car like that. Same thing happens if there is a shortage of funds in your business. If you need, say, 2 crores, 3 crores, 5 crores in your business for some expansion or for some diversification or for whatever reasons or for the working capital, what happens? If you don't get the funds, you get stuck. You get stuck. So funding is the basic requirement. Day to day, working capital is also a big user of capital invested in the businesses. So people go for business loans with or without collateral. Okay, it may be a loan against collateral, it may be without collateral, but most of them, they go for business loans. What is the normal rate of interest for businesses? What is the normal rate of interest that the bank are charging for businesses? It's not 8 to 10%, it is more than 10%. 8 to 12% is not. This ranges somewhere from 10 to 15%, depending upon the various uses of the loans, what type of loan you are taking, whether it's a long-term loan, whether it's a working capital loan. So different loans has got different rates of interest. So let's assume that you are having a bank loan of 10 crores with an interest rate of 15%. How much interest you are paying to the bank? How much interest you are paying to the bank in 1 year? With an interest rate of 15% on a loan of 10 crore, you are paying 1.5 crores rupees per annum to the bank, isn't it? So in a way, you are working for the bank. You are working for the bank. You are not working for yourself. You are not working for yourself. Suppose you are making a profit of, before interest, you are making a profit of 2 crores. Out of that, 1.5 crores goes for the bank interest. So what remains with you is just 50 lakhs rupees, even after earning 2 crores of rupees. Isn't it? I agree with you. It's higher. It's higher. I agree. But there are various reasons, and we cannot go into all these details because that is not in our control. That is within the control of the Reserve Bank of India and the Government of India. They fix the rate of interest depending on various circumstances and parameters. So we can't discuss that here. Anyway, I just wanted to make you aware that people who take the loan, they don't consider that how much interest burden they are taking on their head. As I gave you the example, you are earning approximately 2 crores on a turnover of 10 crores, and you have got a, suppose you have got a bank loan of 10 crores, you are paying 1.5 crore as interest. What remains with you is just 50 lakhs. If there was no bank interest, the entire 2 crores was with your company. Now we will say that, okay, I have to pay tax only on 50 lakhs. Wonderful. Wonderful. You have to pay tax on the 50 lakhs rupees. But what if you pay tax on 2 crores? Do you have a bigger balance or a lesser balance, shorter balance? Tell me. Which is a better choice? Earning 2 crores and paying tax on that, or tax on 2 crore? There's a much bigger balance left with you. Okay. A bigger chunk of profit remains in your company, but when you have got a loan, you can see for yourself. You can see for yourself. Okay. So that is the reason I always advise my clients and my friends and family members and everyone who is close to me not to depend heavily on loans. You may go for bank loans for a shorter term or for working capital now and then, but you should not depend on it because that is the guzzler of the funds. खा जाता है आपका सारा प्रॉफिट, है ना? खा जाता है. आप काम करते हैं, you work for the bank or you are working for you. You are working for you and your family and your business, or you are working for the bank. But when you take a heavy bank loan, indirectly you are working for the bank. You are earning for them. That's why the banks prefer to give loans to good companies. Bad companies are not going to get anything, neither loans or IPO funding, nothing. But if your company is good and you take loans, that's a big burden on your head, on your company's budget, on your company's finances. So if you are burdened with heavy debt, bank loan, institutional, even unsecured loan, you have to pay a lot of interest. Unsecured loans also carry interest somewhere around 12 to 15%, 18% also. In some cases, this is 24%. But normal rate of interest for unsecured loans is from 12 to 18%, not less than that. Okay. So if you are a company which is heavily burdened with debt, you should think of becoming a debt-free company, because once you are a debt-free company, the entire profit which you are making in a year will be in your pocket and will not go to anybody else. As simple as that. You know that. I don't have to explain it. I'm just reminding you. Okay. But most of the SMEs, they are not aware that there is another way. There is another way. And what is the way out? Simply going on the SME road, SME IPO road. Now, all of you, please tell me how long you have been in business. कितने साल से business कर रहे हैं? Please tell me. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, more than that. 5 years, 12 years, 15, 4, 10, 25. You never thought of being a listed company? Very good, very good. 20 years, 14 years, 12 years, 11 years, 8 years. Whether it's a private limited or a partnership firm or LLP or sole proprietorship or HUF, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Have been exploring, thinking since 2 years. It's a dream. It's a dream with most of the entrepreneurs. But you have to take steps to fulfill that dream. And SME IPO is the way whereby you can fulfill this dream, you can achieve your targets, you can make your company even a unicorn company. We'll be talking about that in a bit. Okay. So this is a dream. Everybody wants to grow. You want to grow your business. All of you want to grow your business. And even if you talk to anybody who is in business, they want to grow their business like anything. Isn't it? Am I right or wrong? You want to grow your business. Everybody wants to grow their business. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Good. Everybody. There won't be any exception. एक भी नहीं मिलेगा ऐसा जो नहीं कहेगा कि जो कहेगा जी मैं ग्रो नहीं करना चाहता, है ना? Everybody wants to grow. But if you keep on following the earlier route, the earlier system, you will not be able to grow as fast as you want. Because SME listing on stock exchange is one step. If you take this step, you open your doorway for all the bigger things. Companies listed on SME exchanges can be migrated to the main stock exchange after 2 years. There are certain conditions which are not very difficult to achieve. Very simple. You have to have a paid up capital of 10 crores and a share valuation of 25 crores. You can be migrated to the main board. Then your company is like any other company, like Reliance or like Tata or like Ambani or anybody else. So this is a very good opportunity for smaller and medium-sized companies to get their companies listed through SME exchange. It can be BSE, it can be NSE. BSE is slightly easier, NSE is slightly difficult. But if you go for the main board, which is normally for companies, IPOs with more than 200 crores plus, in that case, there are lots of difficulties. Compliance is difficult. Compliance is strict in case of main board, but the benefits are also there. Okay, so let's move forward. So most of these SME entrepreneurs, they are not aware about the SME route, IPO route, and even if they are aware, they come across or they learn about it, they don't know how to unlock value. SME IPO or IPO on the main board is a best way to unlock value of your business, value of your company. Like I told some time ago, if your net worth is 5 crores, the value of your company is 5 crores. But once it is listed on a stock exchange, whether SME or main board, it is the market value of your shares which determines the valuation of your company. Okay. So this is something which every one of you must consider. There is an alternate source, and what is that? IPO. For smaller companies, the best way is SME IPO, either on SME, NSE or on BSE. Okay. But most of you will say, we are not big enough for the IPO. How many of you feel that you are not big enough for an IPO? कितने लोग को लगता है कि हाँ अभी हम बहुत छोटे हैं? कितना बिजनेस करते हो मित्तल मिश्रा जी? Those who feel you are small, कितना बिजनेस करते हो? 5 crore. How much you have invested in your company or firm, whatever it is? 40 lakhs is definitely a small amount. Now I'm asking investment. How much money you have invested in your company? No, Mr. Naveed, any type of company can go for SME IPO. Any type of company. It may be a service provider, it may be manufacturing, it may be distributing, any sector. Two companies, total turnover 7 crore. How much is the investment? Samara is thinking of SME IPO. How long you have been thinking, Samara? Hiten Joshi, 1.5 crore. And what is the turnover? Samara, 2 years. That is a pretty long time. You should have been a listed company long back. What is your business size? I'm better in size, but major turnover is from trading. Although we also have tech, we do government contracts. Okay. What is the total turnover, Mr. Navid? Hitesh Joshi, 7 crore. Investment 13.5 crore, new firm. Good, good, good. So in a way, most of you can go for SME IPO. Most of you. We are the top, we have with the top line of 29.5 crores and capital 3 crores. Wonderful. Wonderful. Capital is 5 crores. Wonderful. I think we'll do business in next 2-3 years. What is your current status, Mr. Pawan? You are starting a new business, 50 lakhs. When did you start the business? Four, 5 years or months. 4-5 years ago. What is your business? What is your business? Be fast. Disposable. Why do you need more funds? How much funding you need? Bank entered in T packets. What is that? Capital is around 5 crores. Sanat Kumar, 2.5 crore pharmaceutical. That is turnover or investment? Mr. Sanat Kumar, that is investment or turnover? Net profit is 2.5 crores. Tea and spices. Turnover. What is the investment? What is the capital investment, including loans? 50 lakhs. Okay. How long you've been in business? 4-5 years? Two years. Okay, anyway, we'll talk about it. Okay. We'll talk about it. So most of you feel that we are not big enough. How we can think of an IPO? You don't have to be big enough. You don't have to be. Now small can dream big. Now even small can dream big. If you start thinking about an IPO, if you are taken care of, if you are working with a proper guidance and patience, you definitely can go for an IPO, which will change the future of your company as well as you and your family. Everything will change. Everything. Okay. So in a way, the IPO market is giving wings, particularly SME IPO segment is giving wings to the dreams of capital starved SMEs. The SME sector, as we have discussed, and we all know that they are always short of funds. They want funds for their business, which is very difficult to get from banks. And if you get from banks, that burden costs you a lot of interest. It eats away almost entire profit. So this becomes very difficult to survive profitably and grow your business and your company, isn't it? So if you start thinking about SME IPO, definitely it's going to be a much, much, much better option. You'll be surprised that the top 5,000 companies in the country, or more than that, all the top 5,000 plus companies are listed on stock exchanges. Are listed. There is hardly any big company which is not listed. All these companies, even if you talk about Reliance, Reliance was also a small industry, SME, in the 80s, 1980s, as Reliance was an SME. And today, Reliance Industries market capitalization is 17 lakhs crores, 17 lakh crore. Okay. Is that mind-boggling? Isn't it? If I start showing you statistics of various companies, you will be shocked how much growth can be done. Okay. So now I'm asking you one question. Please listen carefully and then answer. A is you own 100% shares in your company and your company's net worth is 10 crores. You are the owner of 100% shares in your company, which has got a net worth of 10 crores. Option B is your company is listed and the market valuation of that company, the same company, is say 1,000 crores, and you own 75% shares in that company, which is a better option, which is a better situation, A or B? I want your answers. I want your answers, A or B. B, 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 B. Simple mathematics. That is simple mathematics. Why 75%? Because when you go for an IPO, whether on the main board or the SME exchange, you have to offload at least 25% of the company's equity. Okay. That is the norm. And we have to follow the norms. So even most of the entrepreneurs, they are afraid of IPOs because they think that if they go for the IPO, they will lose the control on their business, they lose control on their company, and people will start disturbing them. People will take control. They will take control only if you issue shares to the outsiders more than 50%. In that case, they can take control. But anything less than 50%, up to 49%, if there are outside shareholders, control is with you always. But still, the minimum, which is 25% shareholding by public, is the best option. There are other ways and means also, which I can't discuss openly, or which we can talk about in a private meeting. But that is the norm, and we have to follow the norm. Okay. Obviously, B is the option, and all of you are right. And thank you for the answers. Okay. Now, why should you consider SME IPO? If we look at these points, because SME segment of both NSE as well as BSE, that is National Stock Exchange as well as Bombay Stock Exchange, is open for you. You can go on any one of them. I won't advise you to go on both. It's always better to go on one. BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange, is slightly easier as compared to National Stock Exchange. Okay. But once you get listed and you get migrated to the main board after 2 years, you can get listed on both BSE as well as NSE. There's no problem for that. Okay. But initially, we prefer to go for BSE SME, which is a easier option. Okay. The eligibility criteria is very, very easy as compared to the main board. If we consider the requirements which are there for the main board listing for the bigger companies, and if we compare them with the requirements for smaller companies, there are lots of relaxations and simplicity. Okay. If you go for the IPO, you can become a debt-free company. You won't have to pay any interest, and the entire profits which you make are with your company, with you. Okay. Now, as I told you, you can multiply your company's valuations many, many times, even beyond your imagination. If you look at the historical data of so many companies, you will find that there is a growth of even 70,000%, 80,000%, 50,000%, depending on the working of the company. So there is no limit for the growth. There is no limit for value creation. Okay. Then you can grow manifold. Your business can grow fast because when you are having funds, the growth is easy. And that way you create wealth for yourself and for your stakeholders, your shareholders. Now, the biggest benefit is that whatever funds you raise through an SME IPO, you don't have to pay any interest on that. No interest is payable on the funds which you raise through SME IPO. No interest. Even the money which you raise through the SME IPO is not refundable. Suppose you come out with an IPO of 20 crores. So that 20 crores is not to be repaid. You don't have to pay any interest. You don't have to repay. वापस भी नहीं करना है. ना ब्याज देना है, ना वापस करना है. Is that good? Sounds good or not? Even if 10 crores, 20 crores, 15 crores, it can be 50 crores. Definitely it's good. And you'll be surprised that the example which I gave you, suppose you got a 10 crore loan. So the total expenditure is going to be less than 1 year's interest. If you take this option, the total expenditure is going to be less than your 1 year interest cost. Less than. It's good, not sounds good. It's definitely good. So that is why I suggest to my clients to think of SME IPO. Then for your investors, the liquidity becomes easy. They can go to the stock exchange and sell their shares whenever they want. They can purchase shares whenever they want. And one biggest benefit, suppose you are in need of funds. Your shares, your company shares, when you are a listed company, they are like currency notes. Your company's shares are like currency notes. 1000 का 2000 का नोट बन जाता है आपका कंपनी का शेयर. How? Suppose one fine day you need 2 crores of rupees. And suppose your company's valuation is 100 crores. Valuation I'm talking about. You just sell 2% of the shares of your company, and the next day, within 24 hours, 2 crores rupees are there in your bank account. 2 crores are there in your bank account within 24 hours. So is that not a currency? It's like a currency. You can use it for your business whenever you have got the need, whenever you have got the necessity. You can use it like a currency. I'm not asking you to keep on selling your shares. No. But if need is there, if urgency is there, you can use it like a currency. Okay. Then when you get listed, you get a better image, enhanced brand value, you gain recognition. Whenever you tell somebody, to your bankers, to your suppliers, even to your buyers, that we are a listed company, that carries a lot of image, that carries a lot of value. Your banks would be more comfortable to give you financial assistance if it is needed. Though I am against bank funding. I'm against. Then After 2 years, if you meet all the criteria, which are not difficult to meet, you can migrate to the main board. Then there are tax benefits. There are tax benefits for listed companies, because for listed companies shares, if you make any capital gains on sale of the shares, you have got to pay a lesser tax as compared to the shares of unlisted companies. If you sell shares of unlisted company and make capital gain, you have to pay higher tax. But if you sell the shares of a listed company, the tax burden is lesser. Okay. Then when you are a listed company, your company's share price along with the name of your company is always available on the stock exchange website, on the stock exchange rate, live stock exchange quotes everywhere. Then newspapers, this TV channels and all that. If your performance is good, they'll keep on interviewing from time to time. So that way you get free publicity, visibility increases. And in certain states, even the governments, state governments are giving subsidy for SME IPO expenses. Somewhere it is, in some states 5 lakhs, some states it is 10 lakhs, like that. So that has to be considered. Suppose you spend 50 lakhs on that. So out of that, suppose if there is a subsidy of 10 lakhs, that 10 lakhs is a cash back which you are going to get from the state government. Okay. Sounds good. 25% is the basic minimum required to be uploaded, not less than that. Wonderful. बाकी लोगों को नहीं लग रहा है क्या? बाकी लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, मजा नहीं आ रहा है ये इस सिचुएशन में? अच्छी सिचुएशन होगी ना? Very good. Thank you. Awesome. This is why you should think of an SME IPO. Now, if we just try to compare your company's listing on main board as well as SME exchange, the prospectus in case of SME is approved by the stock exchange, and for main board listing, the approval comes from SEBI, which takes longer time, which is difficult to get. It's not impossible, but it's difficult to get. Okay. Then IPO application size, minimum 1 lakh rupees. If somebody is applying in your SME IPO, the minimum application size has to be 1 lakh. Whereas on the main board, the minimum application size can be 10 to 15,000 rupees. Okay. Post-issue paid up capital, that is after the issue, the face value of your company shares should not exceed 25 crores. Face value, I'm not saying value or market value. This is face value. 10 rupee shares, that means 2.5 crore shares total. Okay. And in case of main board, it should not be less than 10 crores. Okay. Now, minimum profit before tax in any 1 year. In case of SME listing, even if you show a small profit of 1 or 2 lakhs in any 1 year out of the last 3 years, you can go for SME listing. Any profit in any 1 year. If you are having profit in all the years, wonderful. But if you are profitable, even in 1 year out of the last 3 years, you can think of SME IPO. But if you want to go on the main board, that requires 15 crores profit before tax for last 3 financial years. 15 crores per year for last 3 years. So it becomes very difficult for the smaller companies to go for the main board. Okay. But if you take this route, you get your company listed on the SME exchange first. After 2 years, you get migrated to the main board. So in that case, this condition doesn't apply. Then underwriting. Underwriting means if your company's IPO is not sold, there is some guarantor who will buy your shares and your IPO will be filled up. So in case of SME listing, 100% underwriting is mandatory, is compulsory. Whereas on the main board, underwriting is not compulsory. It is optional. So when there is underwriting is compulsory, that gives you an assurance that your shares will be sold in the IPO. Okay, it's not going to fail. Minimum number of allottees in an IPO in case of SME is 50, as I told you earlier also. And if you go on the main board, there should be minimum 1,000 applications. Okay. Then in case of SME, half yearly abridged, that is brief accounts are required to be published. Whereas in case of main boards, you have to publish quarterly results, and that has to be comprehensive results, full details. Okay. Then there is a concept of market making. In case of small, that is SME sector, either on NSE or on BSE, there has to be somebody appointed by the company as the market maker who will be offering every day buy and sell quotes. Suppose आपका कंपनी लिस्ट हो जाता है तो आपका मान लीजिए कि there is a market maker, every day he'll put in the morning a quote, 22 रुपए में खरीदता हूँ, 25 रुपए में बेचता हूँ, से 50 रुपीज में खरीदता हूँ, 52 में, 55 में बेचता हूँ, like that. So there is a way out for the buyer, there is a way out for the seller. If somebody is having your shares, they can sell if they want to. If somebody wants to buy your company shares, they can buy. So that way, the concept of market maker is good and ensures liquidity of your company shares. This is not mandatory when you are migrating on the main board or the companies which are getting directly listed on the main board. This is something just for reference. There are lots of other differences also. Okay. Now, how do you find out that whether you are eligible for SME listing, SME IPO or not? There are some broad points which I'll tell you right now. You want to know? You want to know the brief basic requirements for getting IPO, SME IPO? Yes, yes. If you are interested, say BIO, that is bring it on. Say BIO. Good, 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 wonderful. Thank you everybody. Thank you everybody. So the basic things are that your company should be in existence for minimum 2 years. For minimum, you should have been in business. It may be company, it may be partnership firm, it may be sole proprietary, it may be LLP, whatever it is. It should be in existence for at least 2 years. 2 साल कम से कम बिजनेस में हो जाने चाहिए आपको उसी बिजनेस में. आपका बिजनेस 2 साल पुराना कम से कम होना चाहिए. And there should be profit in any one, at least 1 year out of the last 3 years. पिछले 3 साल में से किसी भी एक साल में प्रॉफिट होना बहुत जरूरी है, कितना भी प्रॉफिट हो. Then you should have a positive net worth. आपका जो कंपनी का नेटवर्थ है वो नेगेटिव नहीं होना चाहिए. It should not be negative. Okay. Then, sorry, the tangible assets, net tangible assets in your company should be 1.5 crores minimum. If it's less than this, you are not eligible. Okay. Even if you are running your business as a sole proprietor or a partnership or a LLP or a HUF, you can form a limited company, convert your business into a limited company, and you become eligible for SME IPO listing. Okay. And there should be no change in promoters during last 1 year. Suppose you want to go for the IPO, SME IPO. So whosoever are the promoters should be the same during the last 1 year before the IPO. Then there's a small requirement. The company should have a website, which is not difficult. And another condition that post issue, after the issue, the paid up capital should not increase more than 25 crores. As simple as that. So these are very easy things to comply with. Now we want to have a brief idea about what is the process. Whosoever wants to know about the brief process which is there, target next financial year. Yes, definitely you should target, but you should prepare your company in such a way that you become eligible. Good, 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 good. Thank you everyone. So this is the roadmap for SME IPO. This is divided into 4 stages. Before stage 1, you are an unlisted company. The first stage is preparation. तैयारी कैसे करना है ना? First stage is preparation. The second stage after preparation is filing of your documents. There's a hell lot of documents required, which are to be filed with the stock exchange in case of SME IPO and the registrar of companies. Okay. But if you go for the main board, you have to file all the documents to the ROC, that is the registrar of companies, to the stock exchange and to SEBI. In that case, you need SEBI's permission, SEBI card, which is known as SEBI card for main board. But in a SME IPO, you don't need SEBI card. All the processing, everything, all permissions will be from the stock exchange. Okay. So after filing the papers, when it is approved, then comes the marketing and distribution. This is the most difficult part, most difficult, because selling the shares in the market, getting money from unknown people is definitely the toughest part. Agree or not? Do you agree with this? Good, 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 good. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. So the last stage is listing. After you meet all these requirements, your shares get listed on the stock exchange. There is an opening bell. You go to the stock exchange and you have a ceremony of listing of your shares over there. Value is created, trading starts, and funds are transferred to your bank account. Whatever money is raised through the IPO, after paying the intermediaries like your merchant bankers, lead managers, registrar to the companies, other consultants, advertising agency, all these expenses, after paying the brokers, after paying all of them, the money is transferred to your bank. Okay, so this is the 4-stage process, and you become a listed company. You become a listed company. Once listed, if you work properly, the world is open to you. You can do whatever you want. The 4-step process, 4-stage process, if we just look at it, first stage preparation, that is first of all, you have to have a feasibility study on IPO. What can be the size of your IPO? What is the valuation of your company? What valuation can we expect for the shares? Then you have to appoint an IPO advisors who will do all these things. Then appointment of lead managers. Along with the lead managers, the IPO advisors, they do all this due diligence and prepare the reports. They fix the valuation, estimation, everything. Then due diligence is all the legal requirements are met with. We need for that we need a legal advisor also. We need a company secretary also. All these requirements are there, which are not difficult to meet. Okay. Then compilation and information and review of offer document. There has to be an offer document prepared, which is known as red herring draft prospectus. Okay. DRHP, Draft Red Herring Prospectus, which is a long document running into 400, 500, 600 pages. 400 to 600, 700 pages, depending upon the size of your company, depending upon your nature of your business, depending upon the history of your company. This can range, this can vary from say 400 to 600, 700, 800 pages. This is being prepared by your advisors as well as your lead managers, your company secretary. Okay. After this, all these documents are submitted. Even your financial statement, that is your balance sheet, everything that has to be put in a new format from the stock exchange approval point of view. The facts and figures will be the same, but they have to be refurbished in such a way, retabled in such a way that it gets comparable with other listed companies. Okay. So after doing all this, the filing takes place. Second stage is filing. So if we look at the first stage, the steps are valuation, then deciding about your business model, ratio analysis, investor presentations, due diligence, exit strategies. Also, if you have got some venture capital or private equity holders in your company, how they are going to exit if they want to. Then financial reporting, then system, process and controls are to be set. Then peer comparison, your company's figures and valuation has to be compared with other players in the same business. Suppose you are into manufacturing of steel pipes. So some other listed company which is manufacturing steel pipes, your figures should be compared with that. And unlisted companies also in the same area of business. So all these things are being done by these people, advisors and lead managers and all that. Okay. So then comes the stage of filing. But before filing, you have to appoint bankers to the issue who will be collecting money on your behalf, and other intermediaries like brokers, okay, underwriters, market makers, all these has to be appointed. Then filing of draft of a document with BSE or NSE. As I told you, DRHP, that is Draft Red Herring Prospectus, along with all other documents, is filed with the stock exchange. They will just study this document carefully. After that, they will be issuing so many observations. They will be asking certain questions which are going to be answered. We have to respond to their comments and their questions and their queries. Once everything is cleared, they issue a consent letter after review of all the documents which you have filed. And then we have to file all these documents with the registrar of companies also. Okay. Once the filing process is complete, then the information for road shows is to be prepared. You may be required to do road shows, that is say like brokers meet or press meet at various places, particularly in Gujarat, because Gujarat is a state where lots and lots of investors are there. And if we go there, the chances are very bright that your issue is going to be oversubscribed many times. Okay. Then we have to find an anchor investor. An anchor investor means who is going to take a larger chunk of your public issue, say 5%, 10%, something like that. Okay. Then we have to launch the IPO. Then we start receiving bids and applications. And we close the IPO, which is normally open for 5 days. After closing the IPO, the fourth stage is allotment of shares, obtaining listing approvals, because everything is done in consultation with the stock exchange. Okay. Once this process is completed by the registrar of your company's shares, okay, along with the stock exchange, listing is there, then your shares get listed. After paying the intermediaries, you receive the IPO funds. So this is the process in brief. Lots of other steps are involved, but it's going to be a very lengthy thing if we start discussing all those things. Okay. So just for your brief knowledge, I would like to tell you about top 10 SME IPOs which came in 2020. There is this company, the issue price of this company was 15 rupees per share. Current price is 206 rupees per share. So the sorry, this is at 1,274% gain. This company came out at 45 rupees per share. Current market price is this, 1100% increase. 51 issue price, 475 market price, 831% growth. Like this, like this. You see the kind of growth the listed companies are getting. Okay. Now, we look at some companies which came out with SME IPO, top 10 companies which came out with their SME IPO in 2021, and see the kind of growth which they have seen. Share price, issue price was 37 rupees per share. Current price is 684. That is 1,749% growth. 58 rupees issue price, current price 872, sorry, 1,400%. And like that. These are companies which came with a SME IPO in 2022, this year, running year. And see the kind of growth, 37 rupees issue price, 270 market price, 629% growth. 67 rupees issue price, 381 market price, 469%. See the kind of growth. Okay. Is that encouraging? INA from Jaipur issues 22 crores and get around 4,000 crores. I'm not able to follow what you want to say. Definitely. So this is something which all these small and medium industries, all these small and medium-sized companies should think about. If you don't think about it, that means you are not doing justice to your business. Okay. Now, there is no shortage of money. Grant Cardone is a well-known coach. He says there is no shortage of money, only a shortage of people thinking big enough. Only a shortage of people thinking big enough. ऐसे लोग कम हैं जो बड़ा सोचते हैं. पैसे की शॉर्टेज नहीं है मार्केट में. I met one bank manager long back. He was a regional manager of some bank. I was sitting with him on coffee. And what he said was, कि बॉस दिल्ली की और मुंबई की सड़कों पे पैसा बिखरा पड़ा है. There's a lot of money lying on the roads of Delhi and Mumbai, and you need to acknowledge this money and take it, grab it. You can grab as much as you want. There's a lot of money lying on the roads. That means there is no shortage of money. You have to have the eye how you can get money. Okay. So you can raise anywhere from 2 crores to 100 crores from the SME IPO. You have to aim for the requirement what you have. You will be needing 2 crores, 5 crores, 10 crores, 20 crores, 15 crores, whatever you need for your business growth. You can plan an IPO according to that, and we'll see to it that whether this is workable or not. Okay. So how do you feel about it? 15 crore turnover. How long you been in business? अश्विनी गुप्ता जी कितने साल से बिजनेस में है? $20 years. You are profitable in any of the last 3 years? Ashwini Gupta ji, Yes, that's good. You can definitely. You can definitely. You can definitely. I'm going to offer a very, very good offer right now after I tell you something more about this. So you have to create value if you want to grow your business, and value creation is much, much, much more faster and easier when you are a listed company. Do you know what is a unicorn company? Do you know what is a unicorn company? If anyone knows, please tell me. What is a unicorn company? Food processing, Mandala, MP. As I told earlier, any type of company, whether you are a manufacturing company or a service provider or a aggregator, doesn't matter. You can go for SME IPO with a valuation of $1 billion. Yes, yes, correct. If we have got $1 billion valuation, that is just 8,000 crores according to the latest rupee rate. 8,000, approximately 8,000 crores market valuation, you are a unicorn company. And you will be surprised, India is also having lots of unicorn companies, lots and lots of them. Lots and lots of them. That's good. You have got all the knowledge which is required, and you can use this knowledge for the growth of your business and your future. No problem, proprietorship can go for. You have to convert it into a limited company and you can go for that. I've been saying, repeated just 2 or 3 times that even if you are a sole proprietor or a partnership or an LLP or a HUF or private limited company, you can convert into a limited company and go for SME IPO. No problem. Okay. How to get subscription, everything can't be discussed here, my dear. Okay. So you can become a unicorn company, and by becoming a unicorn company, what happens? You see a few names. These are the startups: Razorpay, Grown, Moglix, Byju's, Dr. Droom, Mindpickle, Misho, PharmaEasy, Urban Company. All these are unicorn companies. All these are unicorn companies. And furthermore, you'll be surprised that there are more than 10 crores, 10 crore investors in India, more than 10 crore. Out of a population of approximately 140 crores, more than 10 crores people are having demat accounts. That means they are investing in the stock market. And how many you need? How many you need? How many investors you need for your company? 50. So what do you think? Out of 10 crores, will it be difficult to get 50, 60 investors? Mr. Jigar, what is the 1 lakh? 500 plus. Why 500 plus? You need just minimum 50 shares, 50 shareholders, because the application size has to be 1 lakh plus. Application size in SME IPO has to be 1 lakh plus, minimum 1 lakh. Okay. So this is a very good opportunity, and I tell you, earlier people were not investing in SME IPOs. It is from last year that it has picked up momentum. From 2021, it has picked up momentum. Earlier, people were putting their own money to get the company listed. If you have got more than 50 as demat accounts within your family members, friends, and dealers or distributors and all that, you can get it subscribed. But all the other formalities are there. Okay. Okay, no problem, Mr. Giga. But 1,000 is for the main board. 1000 applications is for the main board, not for the SME. Okay, no problem. So in this kind of a scenario, what next? What next? How many of you feel that you should go for an SME IPO? Honestly, say me. Very good, very good, very good. Awesome, awesome. There are around 85, 86 people in the room right now. बाकी लोगों को नहीं जाना है क्या आईपीओ में? बाकी लोगों को नहीं जाना आईपीओ में? Very good, awesome. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Now, what next? You want to know and discuss in detail what is the possibility. You can have a one-to-one consultation meeting with me. This is going to be an online 30 minutes consultation in which only you and me will be talking. If you want your partner or your parents or your wife or your son to be with you, no problem. No problem. But that's going to be one 30 minutes meeting, which may exceed by 5-10 minutes, hardly matters. But the main things will be discussed. But before that, you have to provide your brief introduction for which we have a form. उसके लिए एक फॉर्म हमने बनाया है, वो फॉर्म आपको भरना पड़ेगा once you book this meeting. And the charges for this one-to-one consultation, I have just kept it the rock bottom, बहुत थोड़ा सा, so that there is a sort of commitment. इससे मेरा कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. जो fees I'm going to charge for this one-to-one meeting, this is nothing. But this is a sort of commitment that the person is serious.